Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I'm going to say something that'll piss off most people, and that's fine because truth doesn't care about your feelings. You're not broke because the system is against you. You're not unfit because of your genetics. You're not lost because life's unfair. You're lazy. That's it. That's the truth. You're too lazy to win. You scroll TikTok for 3 hours a day. You play games that simulate success while real success is out there. And guess what? Someone with less talent than you is outworking you and winning. You're not lazy because of your circumstances. You're not lazy because you're depressed, tired, or unlucky. That's a lie. You're lazy because you choose to be. Laziness isn't a medical diagnosis. It's not a genetic disorder. It's not some personality type. It's a decision one you make every single day when you wake up and decide not to act. You lie in bed scrolling on your phone. You snooze your alarm, you delay your responsibilities, you tell yourself, I'll do it later. You procrastinate because it feels good in the moment, but that moment is killing your future. Let me explain something very clearly. Every time you delay action, you reinforce weakness. Your brain doesn't care about your feelings, it follows patterns. If the pattern you choose every day is inaction, excuses, and comfort, that's exactly what your life becomes. Laziness is comfortable. It's easy, but nothing great has ever been built by comfort. You think the top 1% got there by being motivated? No, they got there because they killed the part of themselves that made excuses. They chose action even when it sucked. Especially when it sucked. That's what discipline is, choosing what's right over what's easy. See, most of you wait for motivation to show up before you act. That's like waiting to feel strong before you hit the gym. It doesn't work like that. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. You think you're lazy because you don't feel like it. Good, that's the signal. That's the moment champions are made. The difference between you and the man you want to become is what you do when you don't feel like it. You choose laziness because you haven't made pain your ally. Winners, killers, warriors, they make discomfort their friend. They chase it. Why? Because they know that everything they want, power, freedom, status, wealth, is guarded by pain. And what do? You run from it. You choose Netflix over discipline. You choose sleep over sweat. You choose the path of least resistance and then cry about why your life is average. It's time to stop lying to yourself. You are where you are because of what you tolerate. If you tolerate laziness, you will suffer mediocrity. It's that simple. The harsh truth is this. Every time you hit snooze, skip a workout, or ignore a task, you reinforce the belief that you are weak. And guess what? You start believing it. You start living like it. But here's the flip side. The second you act in spite of your feelings, you flip the switch. You tell your mind, I'm in charge now. You build momentum. You build strength. You start to dominate. Laziness dies when you take radical ownership of your life. And that starts by removing the safety nets. Stop saying, I'll try. Stop saying, maybe tomorrow. Start saying, if I don't deserve success. You need to feel urgency. You need to act like time is running out, because it is. Every lazy hour is a brick in the wall that separates you from the life you want. Every lazy day is another opportunity you throw in the trash. That's not just failure, that's self-sabotage. You were not born to be soft. You were not born to sleep in, eat junk, and spend your life watching other people succeed on a screen. That's not why you're here. You were born with potential, power, fire, but fire needs fuel and laziness smothers it. So here's the truth you've been avoiding. You're not tired. You're uninspired. You're not broken. You're undisciplined. You're not a victim. You're lazy, and that's a choice. The moment you accept that, you unlock the power to change it. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It starts by saying, I will do this, and doing it, no matter how you feel, no matter how hard, no matter how inconvenient. Every time you act with discipline, you cast a vote for the stronger version of yourself. And that version, he doesn't lose, he doesn't fold, he doesn't make excuses, he doesn't wait for luck, he creates it. So if you've been too lazy to win, here's your wake-up call. Get off your ass, put down your phone. Train, work, build, learn, repeat, because no one's coming to save you. No one's handing you success, and time is running out. Laziness is a choice, and so is greatness. Make the right choice. There's a massive difference between the people who win and the people who watch others win. And the truth is, it comes down to one thing: how you spend your time. Winners don't sit around and wait for things to happen. They make it happen. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for perfect timing. They don't wait for someone to believe in them. Winners work, losers wait. That's the harsh reality. You've got people out there grinding every single day. They're waking up early, training, learning, building, and then you've got others sleeping in, watching TV shows, swiping endlessly through social media, talking about what they plan to do. But planning doesn't pay. Action does, results do. Winners are doers, not dreamers. Everyone has dreams, that's not special. But the man who's willing to outwork everyone to turn that dream into reality, that's the man who wins. The average guy, he waits for motivation, he waits for support, he waits until he feels ready, and guess what? That day never comes. You think the world cares if you're ready, it doesn't. Success doesn't knock politely. It demands that you show up whether you're ready or not. It rewards the man who gets up and moves forward anyway, even with fear, even with doubt, even with pain. That's what separates the top 1% from the rest. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not IQ, it's execution, relentless, focused, obsessed execution. You want a better body, you better work while others rest. You want financial freedom, you better outwork the guy who's hustling 2 jobs and still learning in his free time. You want respect. Win so big they have no choice but to notice you, and you only win by doing, not dreaming. Winners work through the boredom. Winners work when it's inconvenient. Winners don't wait for the right time. They take time and make it right. Losers lie to themselves. They say things like, I'll start Monday, I'll wait for the new year, I'm not ready yet, I'm too tired today, I need to be in the right mindset first. That mindset. It's weak, it's built on comfort, it's the reason you'll look back 5 years from now and realize you wasted your prime because you were waiting while someone else was working. Winners treat time like a weapon. Losers treat it like a luxury. Winners know that every second they waste is a second the competition gains. Losers believe they'll always have more time. Newsflash, you won't. You don't get time back. You don't get opportunities back. Life moves on, and it doesn't wait for lazy, indecisive people. The man who is willing to work while others wait, he eats first. He builds empires. He becomes unforgettable. You need to understand something: success is earned, not given, and it's earned through hours of invisible work. It's not sexy. It's not fun. It's early mornings, late nights, missed parties, rejected ideas. Discipline, repetition, focus, and more discipline, and that's why most people lose. They aren't willing to pay that price. They don't want to work when no one is watching. They don't want to grind when there's no applause. They want quick wins, easy results, fast gratification, but the top dogs, they thrive in the shadows. They keep working while the crowd's sleeping. They build when no one's watching, and when it's time to step into the light, they're ready. Do you think Elon Musk waited? Do you think Kobe Bryant waited? Do you think Muhammad Ali waited? No, they worked obsessively, unapologetically, ruthlessly. You think you're going to win by doing the bare minimum. You think success is going to walk into your life just because you want it bad. Wake up. It's not enough to want it. You must outwork everyone who wants it just as bad as you, and then keep going. Stop saying you'll start tomorrow. Start now, right now. Winners don't delay, they dominate. Every day you wait is a day stolen from your potential. Every hour you waste is an hour your competition is using to get ahead. Winners don't ask, what if? They ask, what's next? And they keep going. And going and going. So the next time you catch yourself waiting for motivation, for help, for confidence, for the stars to align, remember this: while you wait, someone else is working. While you sleep, someone else is building. While you dream, someone else is doing, and that's why they win, and that's why you won't unless you change. Work while they wait, or stay broke watching others win. Your choice. Let me break this down for you, and I want you to understand this deep in your bones. No one cares how hard you're trying. Read that again. Trying is nothing. Effort without results is meaningless. You don't get trophies for almost. You don't get remembered for trying really hard. The world does not care how much effort you say you're putting in. It only respects one thing: execution. You say you've been working on a business for 2 years. Great, show me the money. You say you've been in the gym all year. Good, where are the results? You say you're on your grind. Cool, let's see what you've built. Because in the real world, effort is invisible, execution is proof. We live in a society where everyone wants to be praised for trying. They want credit for intentions, not outcomes. But reality doesn't work like that. The universe doesn't pay out on good intentions. It pays out on what you actually do. If 2 men show up to a fight and one says, "I trained so hard for this," but the other wins, who gets the glory? The winner. If one guy works 16 hours a day and fails, and another works 6 smart hours and dominates, who gets the reward? The one who executes, the one who delivers. Effort is the starting point, but execution is the finish line. People think being busy is the same as being productive. It's not. You can hustle for 20 hours a day and still be broke if you're not executing on the right things with intensity, clarity, and consistency. Execution means you don't just plan, you build. You don't just say, you do. You don't just talk about goals, you crush them. You don't get paid to try, you get paid to win. This is why average people stay average. They love talking about how hard they're working. They fall in love with the struggle, the grind, the hustle quotes. But when it's time to produce, when it's time to show receipts, when it's time to deliver outcomes, they fold because they've been addicted to the illusion of effort instead of the truth of results. You want to be rich, you better produce value. You want to be respected, you better accomplish something. You want to be free, you better execute faster and better than everyone else. You think people are successful because of luck. Wrong. Luck favors the man who shows up prepared, focused, and relentless. Luck is attracted to action, to movement, to execution. There are a million people with ideas, but the man who takes that idea, executes it with violence, discipline, and speed, he wins. While you're still brainstorming, he's already making sales. While you're still perfecting your plan, he's already launched. While you're still making excuses, he's already cashing in. Execution beats talent. Execution beats intelligence. Execution beats potential. Because execution is the only thing that turns possibility into reality. Let me make it real simple. If you're not getting results, you're not executing, period. If you've been trying for years and nothing's changed, it's because your execution is garbage. It's sloppy, slow, or non-existent, and that's great news because it means you can fix it. Start demanding outcomes from yourself. Stop praising yourself for effort and start holding yourself to results. You either did it or you didn't. There's no in between. There's no almost. There's no but I meant to. You want a powerful life. You want to separate from the average. Then you need to become obsessed with outcomes. Measure everything. Track your progress. Hold yourself accountable to the standard of execution, not effort. Because in this world you only have 2 choices: be a man who finishes or be a man who watches others finish first. Effort is cheap. Everyone tries. Execution, that's rare, that's elite. That's why only a few people win and most people just talk. The question isn't, are you trying hard? The question is, what have you done that proves you belong at the top? Answer that with action, not excuses. Answer that with execution, not explanations. Answer that with wins, not wishes. The world doesn't reward how hard you try. It rewards how well you finish. Every excuse you make is a lie and you know it. It's not a reason. It's not a valid explanation. It's a comfortable little story you tell yourself to justify weakness, to protect laziness, to avoid accountability. I'm too tired. Lie. I don't have time. Lie. I don't have the resources. A lie. I've got anxiety. A lie. I wasn't born rich. A lie. My parents didn't teach me. A lie. You lie to yourself so you can stay small, so you don't have to face the fact that deep down you're choosing comfort over greatness. You're choosing safety over success. You're choosing average over power, because here's the truth. If you really wanted it, you'd find a way. You'd move, you'd build, you'd train, you'd sell, you'd study. You'd fight. You wouldn't make excuses, you'd make progress. Excuses are the chains that keep weak men in cages. You wrap them around yourself like a blanket because they make you feel warm, but they're killing your potential. They're suffocating your ambition, and worse, you believe them. That's the most dangerous part. You've lied to yourself so many times, you've started treating those lies like facts. You've told yourself you can't, for so long that you've convinced yourself you're a victim. But let me tell you something, you're not a victim, you're a volunteer. You're volunteering for weakness, you're signing up for failure. You're choosing to stay where you are because it's easier to make excuses than to make sacrifices. Winners don't tolerate excuses even from themselves. They catch the lie the moment it shows up. They don't allow it to take root. They crush it instantly, because once you let one excuse slide, more will follow. You'll start justifying your own downfall. You'll turn into one of those people who says, "I could have been great if life was fair. I almost made it, but I had big plans, but something always got in the way." No, the only thing that got in the way was you. You didn't fail because of your job, your friends, your past, or your circumstances. You failed because you allowed your excuses to control your decisions. Let's get something straight. Life is hard for everyone. Some people were born rich, most weren't. Some people were born in war zones, in poverty, in broken homes, and still made it out. Why? Because they refused to lie to themselves. They looked in the mirror and said, "I don't care what's in my way. I will do what it takes." But you've trained your mind to quit before you begin. You've programmed yourself to give up the moment things get uncomfortable. And then you cry about why life isn't fair. Life isn't fair, and it's not supposed to be. That's why only the strong win. That's why only the men who destroy their excuses rise above the noise and become undeniable. Here's what you need to understand. Every excuse you make is a vote for the weaker version of yourself. Every time you say, "I can't," you kill a little bit of your own power. Every time you say, "maybe later," you lose time you'll never get back. And all of that, it adds up, it compounds, until one day you wake up in your 30s, 40s, or 50s and realize you wasted your entire life believing your own lies. That's the real pain, not failure regret. Looking back and knowing you could have been something more, if only you stopped lying to yourself. So what do? You stop accepting excuses. You hold yourself accountable with violence. You look at your life brutally, honestly, and say, "If I don't have what I want, it's because I haven't earned it. And if I haven't earned it, it's because I made excuses instead of making moves." You rip those lies out of your mindset one by one. You replace "I can't" with "I will." You replace "I don't know how" with "I'll figure it out." You replace "I don't have time" with "I'll make time." You replace "I'm scared" with "I'll go anyway." That's how champions are built. They're not born with more talent. They're born with the same doubts, fears, and problems, but they don't let excuses decide their future. They take responsibility for everything. That's what makes them unbreakable. So if you've been stuck, if you've been weak, if your life hasn't changed in years, don't look outside. Don't blame the world. Don't blame anyone. Look in the mirror and kill the liar, because as long as you keep making excuses, you'll keep losing. But the moment you destroy that part of yourself, the coward, the quitter, the victim, that's the moment you start winning. No more lies, no more limits, no more excuses. Get up, own it, and make yourself impossible to ignore. Most of you have it completely backwards. You think discipline is punishment. You think it's some kind of prison, a restriction. You believe waking up early, eating clean, training hard, grinding day after day is limiting your freedom. You couldn't be more wrong. Discipline is the foundation of freedom. It's not what holds you back, it's what sets you free. When you have discipline, you control yourself. You control your mind, your actions, your emotions, your time. You're not a slave to your impulses. You're not run by weakness. You're not dancing like a puppet to every craving, distraction, or emotional whim. But look at the average man. He thinks he's free because he can do whatever he wants. He eats whatever junk food he feels like. He sleeps as long as he wants. He skips work, skips workouts, skips responsibility, and he calls that freedom. That's not freedom. That's enslavement to comfort. That's addiction to mediocrity. That's what losers call living. But what they don't realize is every time they chase short-term pleasure, they chain themselves to long-term pain. The man without discipline is broke. The man without discipline is weak. The man without discipline is anxious, depressed, confused because his life has no structure, no control, no purpose. He's free to do what he wants, but he's also stuck where he is. No progress, no respect, no legacy, just cheap dopamine and endless regret. That's not freedom, that's a cage with no bars. Now contrast that with a man who has discipline. He wakes up early not because he's forced to, but because he chooses to take control of his day. He trains his body because he refuses to be weak. He works with focus and fire because he's building something real. He doesn't waste time, he uses it as a weapon. He has rules, but those rules give him power. He has structure, but that structure builds his empire. He says no to comfort so he can say yes to dominance. You call that restriction? No, that's the highest level of freedom there is, because freedom without power is an illusion. What's the point of being free if you don't have the discipline to use that freedom to elevate yourself? What's the point of having 24 hours if you waste 18 of them on distractions? What's the point of being a grown man if you still need someone to tell you what to do? Discipline is what separates the amateurs from the elites. It's what takes potential and turns it into real-world results. Everyone has potential, everyone has dreams, but discipline, that's rare, that's the X factor. It's the ability to wake up and grind, not because you feel like it, but because it must be done. It's doing what's right over what's easy. It's choosing pain now so you don't suffer later. Discipline is how you build the body, the bank account, the mindset, the skill, the power, everything. It's not sexy, it's not loud, it doesn't post selfies and wait for likes. It just executes over and over again. In that consistency, that control, that inner fire, it unlocks real freedom. Financial freedom, physical freedom, mental freedom, freedom from weakness, freedom from fear, freedom from the system. Let me ask you, who's more free? The man who parties all weekend and drowns in bills, anxiety, and weakness, or the man who trains, works, invests, dominates, and moves through the world with clarity and power? You already know the answer. The problem is, most people don't want to pay the price for discipline because it costs you something, your excuses, your distractions, your comfort. But that cost is small compared to the price of regret. Discipline might feel like pain now, but laziness is a cancer. It rots your life from the inside out slowly, quietly, until one day you wake up realizing you've wasted years being a slave to your weakness. You'll never meet a man with discipline who's jealous of the undisciplined, but the lazy, the soft, the scattered, they'll always envy the disciplined, because deep down they know that's the life they wish they had the courage to live. So, no, discipline is not restriction. It's the door to greatness, the key to self-respect, the weapon of kings, the code of killers, the path to ultimate power. Discipline doesn't take away your freedom, it gives it to you. But only if you're man enough to claim it. So stop avoiding structure, stop fearing hard work, stop pretending you can have success without control. Embrace discipline and watch your life become unstoppable.